So, and just to continue this discussion a little bit more, um, like I said, bubbles are very common. They don't just happen every 40 years. They're happening all the time. So, in the early 70s, there was this notion called Nifty 50, where these banks and trust companies had come up with the idea that you just buy great businesses uh, at any price, and then you hold them forever. And if you do that, you end up doing really well. And there were these 50 blue chip companies like Disney, McDonald's, Coca-Cola, Kmart, Xerox, Digital, Avon, and so on. And since everyone wanted to buy these stocks and hold them forever, they went up to ridiculous multiples. So if you looked at the PEs in 1972, like McDonald's was at 86 times earnings, and Disney was at 82 times earnings, and Polaroid was at 91 times earnings, and so on and so forth. So these things really became very popular, and so the market basically was a bipolar market. You had very high valuations on these top 50, and then you had kind of the rest of the market kind of getting ignored. And and then we had the crash of 1973, 74, and uh, of course in 73, 74, what happened is that we had the Arab oil embargo. We had for the first time in the United States uh, rationing of gasoline and long lines at the pump, and people not able to get gas, and we had a president who had imposed price controls, and we had the impeachment of a U.S. president for the very first time. And so you had a whole bunch of different factors coming in, and in fact, what happened to the Nifty 50, and in fact, the crash of 73, 74 was actually worse than the 1929 crash, because the 1929 crash took place over a short period of time. This was a very slow motion crash. It took place over 2 years. But if you look at the end to end drop from top of 73 to the bottom of 74, it was a huge, I would say something more than, I think, a 60% drop in stock prices over that period. And so the Nifty 50 initially, people followed the advice, which is you hold these stocks forever. So all these earth-shaking events were taking place, and the market started dropping, but the Nifty 50 stayed intact because people kept with it. And then, as the bad news just kept coming in, the Nifty 50 was taken out back and shot one by one, in the words of a Forbes columnist. And so you saw, 90%, 80% drop in prices of these blue chips like Disney and Coke and so on. And so that was pretty brutal. So the Nifty 50 didn't work out so well.